Post-production was interesting. I'd worked with Eamon, the editor, before, and he's great, so we knew how each other worked in a way. So it was just basically in the edit suite every day, sifting through footage. I think what made this show interesting is that with this kind of show, I guess it should work to a strict template to an extent, but because they're all so different and their challenges are so different, and we're meeting them at very different stages in their lives, that it was hard to stick too closely to a template and still do them justice. And I think ultimately our kind of mission in the edits was to kind of portray them in the best possible light, in the most honest light. So finding that structure and making it work for each participant was tricky at times, but I think it was worth taking time with to get right. It was a fun shoot. I mean, with all shoots, it's time is tight and there was a lot to do and a lot of running around, but it was like it's an unusual kind of show, going home saying, I drove Mondello in the back of a boot and stuff like that is interesting. And again, because it meant so much to the guys, to the participants, that I think it ended up meaning a lot to us, and kind of we became very invested in it. And just knowing that it was having that kind of impact on the people that we're following is the most important thing.
I suppose the idea of telling my story to people, and maybe by telling my story I might be able to inspire somebody else, or maybe just to help to change people's attitudes towards people with disabilities, because I think there's a lot of negativity out there. Things are improving, but we've still a long way to go, I think.
At the start it was basically just for fun. After a while I started to see, as I played a bit more, I started to see I might be able to teach people, and that became something really strong to me, something really strong in my head, because I started to see the reactions of people. I could see what they thought. I saw different kinds of people. Some people were, I suppose, didn't like the idea of it. Some people loved the idea of it. Some people were extremely interested.
Be a good presentation for people with other disabilities. Whatever you care to imagine.
I think in general, in this country anyway, there isn't very much focus on disabled people in daily life, perhaps on TV, and I think maybe this would help kind of maybe raise consciousness and raise our profile a little bit, so it would help in that way.
Well, Ireland's come on a long way. I think what I've learned from the participants is that people who suffer from various disabilities still face a lot of kind of, I guess, stigma and prejudice in society, and there's a lot of things that are still closed off to them. But more so, it's a lot of people make assumptions about what they can and can't do, and assume that they're not able for things and exclude them because of that. And I hope that the show proves that they can do pretty much as much as anybody else with that little bit of extra help, that that they are just as important as anybody else, and that they should be included in society to the same extent as everybody else. But hopefully that's the message that we get across somehow.